Hello, viewers. You are welcome to our program, Marriage and the Home. My name remains Israel Tajomawo, your host for this program. Once again, I want to appreciate all of you for making our time to watch our program. I want to say thank you, and I want to encourage you to keep watching. We continue on our discussion on the challenges of marriage. In our last episode, we discussed about one of the challenges of marriage, as we have said that there are so many challenges of marriage. And in the last episode, we talked about the challenge that has to do with sex. That is a sexual dissatisfaction. And we said a whole lot about this sexual dissatisfaction. This is part 5 of our discussion on the challenges of marriage. In the course of this discussion, we were able to define sexual dissatisfaction, what it means to be sexually dissatisfied. And we also look at some indicators of sexual dissatisfaction. Some of the things that you see that you conclude that the partner is not really satisfied with what he or she is getting. And we listed and discussed reasons why sex is important in marriage. Because a lot of people, a lot of women mainly, feel that the men, they are taking this thing too seriously. And we need to understand from the perspective of God that it is a part, it's an integral part of marriage. Today we want to continue on our discussion. Sexual dissatisfaction. We want to continue and learn a few more things in this episode. In this episode, I'm going to focus on the reasons for sexual dissatisfaction in marriage. There are reasons for these things. There are things that happen. Some of them are within our control. Some of them, we are conscious of them, some we are not conscious of them. But we can always do something about it. In order to solve a problem in this life, first you need to know where the problem is coming from. So let's look at the root of this problem of sexual dissatisfaction. We need to go to the root. Now we are going to list and briefly discuss some of these reasons. There are actually several reasons that lead to this sexual dissatisfaction, but we are going to talk about a few, probably about 10 of them. Though visible, those affected can hardly see these things. They are there, but they don't see. That's why there's a lot of quarreling and fighting, and sometimes they don't talk about it. Number 1 on the list is communication. Communication is a big problem in marriage, in different areas that you can think of. And sexual dissatisfaction is one of the areas where communication affects the couple. Imagine a couple who have been married for a while and they are having sexual issues, and the person that is not satisfied is not able to tell the other person or show any sign. How can the person act on it? How can the person know that he or she is not doing something right? So there's no communication. Sometimes the person just gets upset, he just gets angry. Sometimes he just keeps quiet about it. Maybe because he's ashamed, most especially for the women. They can hardly say, look, I'm not enjoying this thing, I'm not satisfied with this thing. They cannot say that. Sometimes the men, they complain. There must be communication. If there's communication, then your partner can know what you are going through. Again, when your partner is able to communicate to you that this is a challenge he's having, you must be able to hear. You must be able to listen. You must be able to understand. So, communication is one of the problems. You must communicate. You must be able to find a way and let your spouse know that, look, I'm not satisfied. We should be doing this more than once a week. I mean, do you know the last time we did it? It's about 6 months. If you don't tell her, how will she know? You know, sometimes you may assume that she understands, but you have to tell her. Even if she's pretending that she doesn't know, say it, communicate, and say it again so that something can be done about it. Number 2 is lack of intimacy. A lot of couples are not intimate in their marriage. They are married, but they are not close. There's no closeness in them. So how can they be free to communicate? How can they be free to talk with each other? Marriage is in the first place is about intimacy, as we said the other time. God said in the Bible that it is not good for the man to be alone, and so a helpmate was made for him, so that he can have companionship, they can be close. But some couples, sorry to say, they are not intimate, they are not close. Even when they are Christians, the closeness is not there. Whose fault is it? You must make effort to get close to each other. Most especially you, the man, you must be able to do things that will make the woman not to be ashamed, you know, of you. Get close. Feel free to say certain things to each other. If you are free to say things to each other, then you'll be able to communicate. Then when there's sexual dissatisfaction, your wife will be able to talk, your husband will be able to talk. Feel free with each other. So communication is key, and intimacy is key in marriage. You must be able to discuss often. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 is a common one. It is in every marriage. That is the monthly menstrual cycle. Every woman goes through that every year. However, some men, they complain over it, that because of the menstrual cycle, they are not able to get enough. And I hear some people use it as an excuse to go into polygamy. They say, sometimes, I've had discussion with some men who say that for this reason they go into polygamy. When their wife is seeing their period, they can meet the other one. That is not how God designed it. God designed it in a manner that a man should be with a woman. You should have one wife, one woman. That is how it's meant to be. And for you to stay for 1 week, it shouldn't be a big deal. Use that time to get closer to God. Use that time to get spiritual, to pray, so that by the time you finish your prayer, you'll be free. 1 week is not too much for a menstrual cycle. So you have to be patient about it. It is the way God has designed it. God made the women like that it should happen that way. So this one should not be an issue, but some people are making it an issue. Let's go to number 4. Inexperience in sexual matters. As simple as it sounds, there are so many couples that are inexperienced. In fact, I've had a case where a couple got married, and afterwards they didn't know what to do, how to go about it, how are they going to make babies, how are they going to have sex. It was strange. The man doesn't know where to put it. It's funny, isn't it? But these things are there. Sometimes inexperience is there. So we need to begin to, at that point, educate ourselves about this. Sometimes the woman may know better. You don't make that one. You don't use it to laugh at the man or make jest of the man. Both of you can bring the man up to speed. Or if you are the man, you can bring the woman up to speed. And if both of you are inexperienced, you can ask questions from mature couple so that you can know how to go about it. You can know how to spice up your love life, your sex life. It is good that you spice it up to make yourself happy. Some women are plainly not interested in sex. Out of this inexperience, they think sex is a no-no. They are not interested. You should be interested though, because the Bible says you should not defraud one another, because it is part of God's plan. Work on your experience so that you can save your marriage, so that you can make your marriage a happy one. Number 5, depreciation in sex drive. I want to stay here a little bit and say something here. There is a medical director, a man who's a medical director of Mayo Clinic, Dr. Todd B. Nipoldale. He says that it's natural for men to notice gradual decrease in sex drive, that is libido as they age. Now, whether we like it or not, as we grow older, our body system changes. This is medical now, it's not just me talking. It's something that happens naturally. As we age, our body system changes. So does our sex drive changes. When you were much younger, you have a lot of energy. Maybe you got married at the age of 30, the drive is there. By the time you are getting to 50 and above, it begins to depreciate. If you are able to do once before, twice before, or thrice before, you may not be able to go more than once. That is the reality. And for that reason, you find a lot of men taking drugs to enhance themselves. I've lived in a local community, and I see that many of the men there, what they do, they have all these herbs in the house, local herbs that they take to help to enhance, improve their ability to perform. Why do they need to do that? Because they've gotten to that age where the body cannot longer give as it used to give when they were younger. And that is what the doctor is saying here, that as you age, these things will come normally. As a man grows older, his performance in bed reduces. For this reason, we hear some stories of how an old man dies while having sex with a younger lady. I've heard about this kind of thing several times. A man, you will find that a man who takes his side chick to the hotel, old man, they say the old man died on top of the young girl. Why? Because his energy cannot go with that of the young girl again. And that is why I'm going to say something now that may appear strange to you. Sometimes an older man will want to marry a girl that is maybe 15 years or more. You know, they're older than. There will be challenges, so there will be challenges, whether you like it or not. That young girl is still very virile. You will not be able to meet up with her needs, and then later you start complaining of infidelity from her side. These are some of the challenges that you see. You who have gotten to the level where your performance has dropped, you will now get married to a girl who is just starting. How do you manage it? So that is a problem. Don't ask me how. The doctor just said it, that as you grow older, the body system changes. For me, it is better that if you're going to get married to a woman, you shouldn't be more than 10 years older than that woman, so that you'll be able to meet up with each other sexually. Well, this is me just talking. I'm also speaking from the doctor's perspective, that your body system changes. Also, as a woman too, as they grow older too, their body system also changes. The desire for sex, also drops. And there are other things that are calling for their attention that makes them not to be able to, to have that desire that much. Their desire drops. That is just the way it is. These are some of the things that happens to a lot of couples. So we must find a way around it, to work our marriage to close all this gap so that our marriage can work. Now, let's go to the other one. Health challenges, that is number 6. Some of these things we cannot help. There are some health challenges that can also affect our sex drive. Again, Dr. Todd B. Nipoldale says that many non-sexual diseases can affect sex drive, including arthritis, cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, coronary artery disease, and neurological diseases. There are some diseases that you can go and Google it and read about it and know what is happening to your sex life, because sometimes these health challenges that you have, they can affect, these ailments can affect your performance. A man who's having a heart disease by the time it's having sex, the heart will be pumping faster than it's supposed to pump normally, and that can affect his performance. As we've seen some other health conditions that can also affect the man, things like diabetes and all that. So those are some of the things. It's good to have the knowledge. When you know this thing, you can know how to manage your sex situation, how to deal with it. Number 7 is unsettled state of mind. Yes, when the mind is not settled, how can you perform sexually? You are not there. If you are having financial challenges, it will weigh you down, and it also affects your performance. If you have worries over health issues, it will weigh you down. I don't know whatever health challenges you may have or all that bothers you, it affects your performance also. If there's depreciation over the situations of life generally, most especially for men who are thinking how he's going to get the daily bread with this economic situation of the country right now, it can also make a man to be depressed, and then sometimes the man is not able to perform well. On the other hand, the man might just try to overlook, but the woman is worried. The children have not eaten, and her clothes, she needs to change them. They are all old and worn out. So many things is disturbing her. She will not be able to perform. When you go to her, she can just shove you off. So the unsettled state of mind can also affect your sexual desire or drive. Number 8 is the work pressure. Some of us are carried away with workload so much that we don't pay attention to the sexual desire of our spouse. Too much work in the office leads to tiredness, and when you are tired from work, you come home, you are unable to perform. Some even take work home to do, and this also affects them. Sometimes you are too involved in your work, you forget about your family. There are so many people like that. Saturdays they work, Sundays they work, and then this kind of thing can also affect their sex life, and the partner will be sexually dissatisfied. Now, another one, number 9, long distance relationship. Sometimes, you can't help it. If you are working in a particular station and you are transferred to another station, that can affect your love life as well, because you are not physically present. So you have to find a way around it to see how you can do something about it. At this point, intimacy begins to dwindle because you are not seeing that much. The closeness is not there again. And then when you come home too, again, you may be experiencing some kind of difficulty relating with each other. So you must find a way to build intimacy in this long distance relationship. The last one, number 10, is polygamy. If you ask a lot of women who are into marriage or polygamy, if they are sincere, truly sincere, they will tell you that they've not really been enjoying their love life, because it is shared between the number of wives. It's not easy for a man to say he wants to satisfy so many women sexually. I just gave an example where a man is growing older and there's depreciation in the sexual drive. How is he able to satisfy all the women? If you have 2 or 3 women and you can only be able to perform, maybe meet one in a day, what will happen to the other one? They'll start picking days. So it is not easy. Polygamy can also be one of the problems for sexual dissatisfaction. Yes, we have listed a number of things. We are going to stop here. I want to appreciate you for watching. In much later episodes, we are going to talk again about sex. Sex is key to marriage. It is important. And many people get married because they want to avoid immorality. They want to avoid adultery. So they should be able to enjoy it in the marriage. There's nothing to be ashamed of. It is something that God designed. I want you to continue to watch. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. And as you continue to watch, I promise you your marriage is going to turn out better. You will learn a lot to improve your marriage and also to help many other people. God bless you as you continue to watch. Stay blessed till I come your way again next time. Please subscribe. Bye.